Hey, I wanted to talk about grief, betrayal, and self-care, and like how they all integrate and what it has to do with each other, and what does it mean? Like, what does all of that mean, and how it can help you to heal, how self-care, self-nurturing, self-compassion can help you to heal from divorce even faster. So when we were talking at our masterclass yesterday, which is available on replay until Tuesday night, it's on terryvanover.tube. We were talking about the grieving process and why, we lose so many friends. So many friends don't really understand, what divorce is all about. They don't get, y'all, that divorce is a huge, significant grieving process. So like one of my things is to educate the public on the grieving process of divorce and how it really has so many ramifications of our life. And so we also talked about, because several of the attendees had experienced betrayal in their marriage, divorce. And so I talked about how, okay, so grief and divorce is already devastating. The reason why you're grieving the loss of your marriage, your spouse, your significant other. For many people, they might be even grieving like the loss of their home, time with their kids, the loss of what they thought their future was going to be. I mean, so that already is a lot. But people on the outside don't understand that, right? Like if your spouse had died, people would be showing up with casseroles and support. But when you go through divorce, that doesn't happen. People really don't give you that support and don't really understand what you're going through. So it's really important that you give yourself a lot of the compassion, the nurturing. I call it radical self-care, radical self-compassion, radical self-nurturing, because you may not get that from other people. If you're lucky, you'll get that support. But me included, most of us did not have that support and really people just don't understand. So if you're experiencing betrayal, in addition to like a divorce, not only are you grieving the loss of your spouse, the loss of your home, the loss of what your future might be, all of the stuff that you're grieving, you may be experiencing grief on an even deeper level, because now you're grieving the loss of what you thought your past was. You're uncovering lies. You're uncovering well, wait a minute, I had this perception of what this was, but it was really this whole other thing. So oh my God, now you're grieving like a whole nother level. And then the anger, the bitterness, it adds on a whole other layer of emotions that you have to heal from. So that's why I talk about, it's Sunday self-care. I'm going to try to put a post in that today. But that's why I talk about radical self-care, but I want to talk about what self-care is and what it isn't, because it's gotten it's like this buzzword and people really don't know what it means. It means grounding yourself and giving yourself what you need, telling yourself that your needs matter. That's the key. That's what people don't understand. It's not fucking bubble baths and candles. That's not what it is. And especially that might be, let me take that back. That might be for you. If you taking a break and you getting in the bath, if that is what grounds you and makes you feel nurtured and makes you feel like, oh yeah, this is what I needed, that is fantastic. That's not what it is for me. I don't like baths. That doesn't nurture my soul. That doesn't feed my soul. What feeds my soul is really high intensity, hour-long, workout, because I need to burn that energy. I need to get my body moving. That's what self-care is for me. Reading books, feeding my mind. I like reading nonfiction. I like to read nonfiction. It feeds my brain for some reason, kind of, lets me reconnect to that core value that I have. Of personal growth and personal development. So it's different for everybody. I've got a client and her self-care, part of it is doing a really kind of extravagant meal, like from scratch. Like, that is not my self-care. Like, me in the fucking kitchen ain't gonna happen. I will eat. Now, self-care is eating. I love to eat. But I could totally see why that whole practice of like prepping and cutting and chopping and it's almost like a meditative thing when you're cooking. Like, I totally get that zone, right? So if that is self-care for you, more power to you. I love it. So whatever is self-care for you, whatever is, and I also want you also to like practice like radical self-compassion, because this is key as well, is not taking on more than you need to, not saying yes to things. This is the time to like practice saying no and say, I'm not doing any more than I need to. I'm gonna give myself grace. And like, yeah, there's some dishes in the sink. So what? Yeah, there's laundry in the basket. Who gives a shit? Like, this is the time to practice that radical self-compassion and not beating yourself up over little shit. Like, letting that shit go and just loving on yourself, nurturing on yourself, doing everything you can to letting all that stuff go, because this is a really overwhelming time. And so giving yourself what you need, because you matter. So listen, y'all, check out terryvanover.tube. It's that masterclass is available for just a few more days. I'd love to, there's so much more. I'll think of some more insights and share those too. So, but I was thinking of like this in particular because it's Sunday self-care. So I want you to check it out. Okay. All right. Mwah. Love ya. And I will talk to you this week. Bye.